Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious. This video is for the first trip, and today we will continue our lesson in Unit 9, Lesson 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, the first question for me, choose the correct answer from A, B, C or D. Manal is excited, space, passing her exam. Manal is excited, space, passing her exam. Excited about. You have to use a computer to send a or an, of course, email, electronic mail. I would rather. You have to know that I would rather followed by infinitive directly without to. So it is wrong to use to play, and it is wrong to use to playing. The right answer would be I would rather play. How about going out for a meal? Great idea. It's a kind of suggestion. How about and what about followed by the verb plus ing. Okay, who could mention for me the 5 steps for suggestions? How could we make suggestions in English? Okay, you could use how about or what about plus a verb plus ing. For example, how about going to the zoo? Okay, that is the first step. The second step, okay, let's plus infinitive, not ing, infinitive. For example, let's play football. Let's play football. Okay, number 3. Why don't you or why don't we? Why don't you or why don't we? Plus infinitive. It's a question. For example, why don't we go to the cinema? Number 4. Shall we plus infinitive. It's a question. Shall we go to the zoo? Number 5. Number 5. What shall we plus infinitive? What shall we do after this afternoon? Okay, so we have 5 ways in order to make suggestion. How about, what about plus verb plus ing, let's plus infinitive, why don't you or why don't we, shall we, and what shall we. Okay, let's go back to our lesson. Doing sports has many what? Advantages. So my question for you, what is the opposite of the word advantages? In the last lesson we took the word advantages and its opposite. So consider it as your homework. Write it down on a paper and take a picture for it and send it back for me. Muhammad Salah is a space footballer, famous footballer. MySpace is my uncle or aunt. MySpace is my uncle or aunt, my cousin, of course. Okay, trains run on railway lines. Phileas Fogg travels from space USA to the UK by ship. Of course, the USA. You have to know that the abbreviations for the countries should take the. Huh? If you look here, the word the UK, it's abbreviation for United Kingdom. USA, the United States of America. So we have to use the. The boys made a mistake and lost 2 marks in the exam. Of course, the use of do and make. The use of do and make. I have sent it before for you. So, the boy made a mistake. Made a mistake. Okay. We have the ways of making suggestion. How about, what about, plus verb plus ing. Why don't you? What shall we? Okay, shall we? Let's plus infinitive. How to respond to suggestions. If you agree this suggestion, respond with great idea. That sounds good. I like that. I know, let's plus infinitive. Disagreeing. If you refused that, I am not sure, I don't know, I would prefer to, I would rather plus infinitive, I disagree. And it is the easiest one to use. I disagree. And the easiest one to use in agreeing, great idea. Okay, what shall we do tomorrow? What shall we do tomorrow? Shall we space rock climbing? Shall we go? I'm not sure. That sounds a bit, of course, dangerous. I would rather do sports. I like to. How about playing basketball? I don't know. I am not very good at that. I know. Let's play tennis. We are both good at it. Good idea. If you refuse, say I am sorry. I disagree. It's the easiest way in order to refuse. It is the easiest way in order to refuse. Okay. After that, choose the correct answer. I prefer juice. You have to know this expression. I prefer juice to Coca-Cola. 2. The internet has advantages and disadvantages. I did the quiz myself. This means I did it alone. Playing football is my favorite hobby. Okay, after that, writing an email. It's very important to us to write an email because the last term we had taken how to write paragraph, and in the exam we had a paragraph, as you remember. But this term we have an email, so it could come in the exam this term if we have an exam. How to write an email. Okay. If he asked you in the exam to write an email, okay, he asked you to write an email. The first thing you have to do to write to, from, about or subject. About or subject. Okay, after that you have to write dear and the person who you are sending to, comma. After that, let an indent and write how are you? I hope you are fine. I write this email to you or for you to. We could use to or for. I write this email for you or to you too. Space. I write the reason. Okay. After writing the sentences, you have to write see you soon or later. And the last thing you have to do to write use and your name. Ahmed, for example. Not your real name, but the name which is written in the question. For example, write an email to Ahmed and your name is Ahmed. So don't write your real name, just write the name which is giving for you in the question. Okay? Okay, and the last thing, after to and from and subject, you have to write an email for the person you are sending to, and from your own email, from the question, and subject, write the reason you are writing the email for.